Today, Rinpoche stressed the importance of generating the wisdom arisen from hearing, analysis, and meditation. Without that wisdom, one is not able to progress on the path. Just one sitting on meditation on emptiness will not harm the grasping at true establishment that we've had since beginningless time. Actually, the Chuguna, the Tepa Gunu Dang Do Nga Ni La, the Digsong, the Ne, the Nye Tsampa the Yakshu, the Shesum Batar, Tepa Gon Udang Do Nga Ni La Nang, the Tsik Kashi Ngama. Nye Tsampa the Yakshu Gangens. Shesum. Let's go. Sorry, go let me check. Shit, Chuso.
Tepa
Shis.
Yeah,
there. Tepago.
Yeah.
Udang. Donga. There. Okay, so we're actually going to start on page 215. We're going to go a little bit just before where it says the two facts, just so it's all a kind of a together in one thought. So we're going to start there. Okay.
Da lang de jibu chungui lang, ring lang, jibu chibi lang song che. Da jibu chungui lang de magajubu chujin de jiandu ting bare. Dene lhaba song jibu ring lang. Dene jibu chibi lang shang chu sen da xindu. Wo du sen yi ma de ba.
Yes. Okay, so when we divide the Buddhist teachings into categories, we can divide them into three, if we were to summarize them. The first set of teachings are those teachings that lead to the higher realms of cyclic existence, and those are the teachings shared in common with beings of small capacity. And those practices are going for refuge to the three jewels and engaging in ethics which abandons the 10 non-virtuous activities. The next division would be the teachings shared in common with beings of medium capacity or middling capacity, and these are for beings who wish to achieve liberation, and those practices are the three highest higher trainings. Independence upon those, they achieve their goals. The last or final division is the teachings for beings of great capacity, and those practices are once one achieves the mind that aspires to enlightenment or bodhicitta, engaging in the practice of the six perfections. And those practices lead to complete Buddhahood. So these are the three categories we can summarize all of the Buddhist teachings into. Digsang Rinpoche.
Tiba chimbudo tiba members new marba tiba gongo.
Lesso.
Tiba goma tiba tijenje uma time imbare.
Lesso.
Tiba gongo dance denen do danga. Do den swaji ge judela do dang nga ni yudro nga ni. Dan do danga nga ni la naga mando to ma yuba dance. Nawa da gabo mando mama yuares. Hal chobadan sangal phashile machubo odre nawa da mamu yuares tomayo badas tena kaza jiki nyasu lamba ni soro rajanje gomba chwala lui to mebe mobala geya kebala mangewa sheroji sheba yinosa
Lesso.
Dodang ha. Ana hamal waden dodang ha gewares. Donya la jeza kamalu ka hanya la jeza kamalu ba ngazu pele den de shombe loju ro da.
Kamba Loka?
Donya la jeza kamba hanya la jeza
Oh,
kamba.
lesso.
Loka den de yours. Ani joje pe na waden de go marze.
Lesso.
Ne donya la kaza jigi kamba jigi la jena digres.
Lesso.
What the thing is that?
Lesso. Oh. Okay, so when we look at the text, it says the two facts that there are many dissimilarities in prescription and prohibitions between higher and lower vehicles and between sutra and tantra, and that these are all the practices of a single person, are contradictory for those who are confused and lack the power of intelligence to seek the intended meaning of the innumerable scriptures. Yet through wisdom the learned know that these are not mutually exclusive. So when we look at the various vehicles, we can divide them into two. The great vehicle and the lesser vehicle. It is called the lesser vehicle because of the scope is lesser, is a smaller scope. So that's why we see the word that means lesser or smaller. However, it can be translated a bunch of different ways. So the reason for it is the scope is smaller, is lesser than the scope of the great vehicle. And as the translators note, one wishes for liberation only for oneself, the other wishes to become a Buddha in order to free all sentient beings from their suffering. So the scope is bigger. So that's why it's great vehicle versus lesser vehicle, because the lesser vehicle is lesser of a scope. So then when we can divide the great vehicle into categories, we find there are sutra and tantra teachings. So these are just yet more divisions of the teachings, and there's a lot of misunderstanding that leads to people believing that there is a contradiction between these teachings, and this was the reason why Atisha came to Tibet and engaged in the work that he did, because prior to him coming to Tibet, they literally would have separate houses for people practicing sutra and tantra. So they wouldn't allow people practicing the different vehicles even in the same house because of this misunderstanding. So it says here that the learned know that these are not mutually exclusive. So Lord Atisha and the Buddha shows that all of these practices are for a single person to achieve enlightenment. So they are all for the purpose of a being, some being, to achieve ultimately enlightenment. So the learned know this and see them not as mutually exclusive. So it says here that these are the practices of a single person. So one can practice all of these in a continuum, and they aren't mutually exclusive. They don't contradict each other. They are a continuum of practices that one person could do. And so this idea of the separation of houses was negated by Lord Atisha because it showed the Tibetans were confused about the meaning of the Dharma in general by thinking that separation was necessary and that they saw some sort of contradiction. And Rinpoche said the tantric practices are where you see the most confusion. Diksun.
단도 당하 제보 가르스나
Lesson.
도당 상지가 주들은 도당 아니요로 단도 당하 제보도 좋으스나 다바지다 튜바냐소 냐소 나도 예비 주들라 되네 마지 다바지다 튜비 줄랑도 매비 상지 주들은 도 동안 제보 오데서데 다 다바지다 가르스나 네네 다바 되네 롱주 주다바 롱쇼다바 제바다바 제딩바데
Less.
다 드마를 찾아봐이나 안는 수수대사가 컴바도 드미 제이 강외 인양살 담바들 네다바 다 수수 드망원의 인양도 공바이나 안 주다바 저는 롱쇼다바 안는 아주 사야 통하도 그걸로 네 라이 두중원의 인양바 살담바이나 되네 롱쇼다바 되는 제바다바 아니 드미 토갈 외제주 세제 드리장 손질 주범부 오 된데 살담바들라 제바다바스
Activities. Okay. So what are the real differences between Sutra and Tantra, if we were to, say, posit that which can define and differentiate these two vehicles? We would say that the four, what are they called? They're not the perfections. The Tsikar, the Je, the Nge Shingyu indicate Sik.
네 다바.
Ne
네 다바 수 대사 컴바드 사이 제
in the
컴바네.
Je Mingare, the Nyamdu.
다바지스.
Dapa Je, Dapa, indicate Dapa. Dapa Sena?
클린이로 클린 짱마.
Purities. Okay, so I will say, I think the four purities, Rinpoche said that the word Dapa means, pure, okay, Dasa, Natsa Dasun, Dapa, Chipa?
도를 준 다수 사주.
Okay, so when you say clean a cloth, that the cleaning, once it's clean, it would be the what this word is. So I think it's purities, or I think that they translate it as purities usually. So the difference between Sutra and Tantra can be shown by these four purities. I'm going to translate as, because purify. Yeah, because when you dop a misdeed, you purify. Okay, so these four purities are as follows: the purity of abode, purity of body, purity of enjoyments, and purity of activities. Beginning with the abode, so if one was practicing the tantric of Tara, for instance, so the purity of abode would be that one would imagine that he or she is in the celestial palace and the celestial environment of Tara herself. One would abandon the ordinary appearances of the ordinary abode wherever you are, and then imagine that the abode is the pure abode of Tara. So this is the first category. The second category is the purity of body. This is where we actually manifest as Tara herself. And we imagine that we are the real Tara herself. We imagine that we are her. So this then is the second category of purity of body that we don't find in the sutra teaching. So first, purity of abode, that's the environment. Second, purity of body, that's one's own body transformed into Tara. And then the third is purity of enjoyments. Any of the food or drink or any of the things that we use. For instance, the food and drink we imagine is actual nectar. So we imagine that it would be the food and drink that Tara would be drinking and eating. So we imagine that these normal things that we see as normal usually are then transformed into these substances. So this is the third category of differentiation, which is the purity of enjoyment. So, and then as a note, any of the other things that you would use besides food and drink, even a car, anything, if you were engaged in this meditation, would become an enjoyment. Anything in the environment that you use, eat, drink, any of these things. Then the last category is purity of activities. So the activities would be, in the sutra teachings, we don't find this exchange of light rays that come from a seed syllable at the heart and then go out to the various directions. Rinpoche didn't specify. Go out to various directions and then come back. And this is a kind of a repetitive motion where the light rays are coming and then are retracting. So this is something that we don't find in the sutra teachings, and this is the actual practices of the giving off of those light rays. Just as a translator's note, when we do the initiation, we imagine that from the deity, from the self generation to the front generation to the universe and the hooks that then bring back, this is something that is exclusive to the tantric teachings that we don't find. So this emission of this light and the retraction of it. Digson.
There shiro mebala ngewa. Shiro jenla Mangeba Tai Jans, the Dodongani, Gazaji, Nyasu Lamba, Lamba to the Shiro Meba Solan Gewares, Shiro Jela Gemaris, Gazaji, Dodonga, Nika Nyasu Chugures, the Shiro Mebalan Gewa,
Oh, okay.
Shiro Jela, Mangewa Tai Jans, Deni Ji, Naja Dan, Sura Pensu Naga, Montu Yejan, Gomba Mangewa, Shiro Ji, Jeba. Then Shiroji Nabalana Meba, Shiroji Nabalana Meba, Tubale Shua, the Sambale Shun, Shiro Majilla, Teta, Gigi Gumba, Mashibi Shadansa, Mashibi Shadan. What
Okay.
Ta deni jinaja ta demba ni yoro demba ni kuzu demba no demba ni kuzu demba sana tene tuni mai bi chu ngalo kuzu demba sode tene tuni mai bi chu kuzu demba ta tuni de chu no demba maruba de no demba sogro ta no demba ne mogu da jumba tongwa ye ngoni zemba juro yanda toyu kan deni de 통화자바 군주 담바 손스 데니 오마주발로 데니로 원데는 손으로다 데니로 도도 담바도 군주 담바니
Kap.
뭐그 다 좀바도 산지 주바는
Okay, sentient Drupa. Okay. Ngiragi. Jupula.
뭐그 다 좀바도 와이 뭐니 이제 봐줘 추가로 담바도 녀도다 좀바도 녀도니 좀바도 녀도 군주 담바 담바도 녀도 도도 담바
Okay, so when we divide truths into categories, we would divide them into two categories, the ultimate and conventional truth. I'm just trying to find. Okay, so the presentations, I'm going to read forward just because this is what Rinpoche is referencing. There are limitless things that the unwise see as contradictory and the wise see as lacking contradiction. The presentations of the two truths and the many prescriptions in one scripture that are prohibitions in others and vice versa. So here the two truths are mentioned. So what is ultimate truth? What is conventional truth? So conventional truth is anything that is not the emptiness of an object. So an object's conventional truth, so we look at an object, for instance. The conventional truth of the object is anything that's not its emptiness. So that's the conventional truth. The ultimate truth is its emptiness, its lack of true establishment. So its ultimate truth is that it's empty of true establishment. So I think so Rinpoche then quoted the Madhyamika Avatara in the 6th chapter. Then the Lung Yanjar Suranang?
뭐그야다 좀바 통화 뭐니 제바주 양다 통역건 되는데 통화 주바 군주 담바 손스
Okay, there's so much in here in the 6th chapter. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to just pull it. I don't want to take up much more time because it's just a one stanza quote, but it just points out that the true nature of an object, its lack of true establishment, is its ultimate truth. So the emptiness of an object is its ultimate truth. Everything else of it or about it is conventional. So I'll see if throughout the teaching I can just kind of find this quote, but that's pretty much what the meaning of it is. That is the meaning of it. I'd rather have the exact quote, but okay, Digsung Rinpoche.
야, 다 송어라 나와도 네 놀라 까봐 하나 나버던 여지로다 what 나가도 어때 그나 수주바다 버터 노술 까버로다 하는 여봐요 괜찮로 어때 나와레스 나가 어디 수인제데
The Yandrasunam?
수주바요 수주바
Suchupa, killing.
클린
Lesso.
어때 놀라 까버로
Oh.
파신 하는 여봐요 괜찮로 어때 나와요레스
So, for instance, we can see there's differences in the sutra teachings. For killing is strictly forbidden. But in the tantric teachings, if one has some special abilities, so Rinpoche stressed that, some special abilities or clairvoyance of some sort, then it's permitted. So there's a difference in the sutra and tantra there, where the realization can supersede and sometimes in the tantric vehicle. Diksun.
다 모두 예장 고바 먹게와 도당하 어때 먹게와데 싫어진 제거데스 싫어진 반대는 싫어진 하발라나 매봐 네 싫어진 하발라나 매버데스 싫어라된 도당하 고메버 시도 그레스 제바 투발레 중앙다 삼발레 중 싫어 메질라 대단나 지지 공부 마시비 셔당스 싫어도 매나 가르 공부에 시그 말이스
Pages got stuck. This Rinpoche. The Chan, the pages. It's not a by you know. That's good. By you know. Yeah, data yin. The shugu. Nyamdu chason. The Chan. The data yin.
대다 싫어
The tsar. Then a
하발라나 매봐 이노
data yin.
도나 요데 타지 싫어래 요데 그걸 싫어라 되네 좀 말스
Data.
싫어가 주시버라 되네 아니 요데 그거 어디 용그레스 싫어래 좀 왔네스 볼라샹비 만다 싫어래 볼라샹비 만다 싫어래 된디 편수 소중 지사지 대시 도지 표정화 처음에 주도 샤와 타지다 아니 예대 소진 말로 타지장 데레 셔 줄라 때네 좀 지대다나 주제 대주다 졸라만다 진행 외바다 연수 주지 로당 하라서 네 나주 추지 나바 타지다 나라 나모 나타라 고다다 지대페베 나바 다다테 제시 투지 나바 된시바 다다 타지 셔로 돌리숑 셰송소스 단도당 하던 게도만 게트 참말로 셔로를 되는 셔르스 셔로를 되는 셔르 어디서 온대서
The Longsar.
셰소
Okay. All right. So the quote, by the way, is the way in which the teachings were bestowed should be discerned. The sutras that explain things other than the ultimate were taught contingently to lead upon the path, while those that speak of voidness should be understood as ultimate. So that's the quote from the Madhyamika Avatara. I feel better now. And now we move on through here, back to the text. Just make sure. I'm just going to I know I reread this, but I'm going to reread it. The two facts that there are many dissimilarities in prescriptions and prohibitions between higher and lower vehicles and between Sutra and Tantra, and that these are all practices of a single person, are contradictory for those who are confused and lack the power of intelligence to seek the intended meaning of innumerable scriptures. Yet, through wisdom, the learned know that these are not mutually exclusive. There are limitless things that the unwise see as contradictory and the wise see as lacking contradiction. The presentations of the two truths and the many prescriptions in one scripture that are prohibitions in others and vice versa. To say that wisdom distinguishes the non-contradictory, intended meaning behind them is the peerless praise of wisdom. In short, all good qualities come from wisdom. The Compendium of Perfection says, "How wondrous that such excellent things come from wisdom. That is like a mother who loves her child. The 10 powers of the Sukata, most excellent of strengths, all superior activities without parallel, and all other collections of virtues in their entirety, arise based on such wisdom as their cause. The arts and the best treasures in all worlds, the variety of sacred learned that is like an eye, protections, awarenesses, mantras, and so on, the different attributes of the teachings that set these forth, the multitude of enumerations and the doors to liberation, all such types of service to the world that display the great power of Conqueror's children, all arise from the power of wisdom." Diksong Rinpoche. Rinpoche didn't give
Da
any commentary.
shira mena juyoris, shira maybe nyemi las, shira maybe nyemi la, shira mena, ane jinsu na midan tawa, jowa nesa, dubale, milon mebe mabashi, wa tatu na, la mashi, chonchari joba kalan jorur, shira meme, parwe shingande, mebe mebe shanchu rima, shanchu, numa yin, shesos, ta melo kaso melo mo me ken chigi ana koron de ba ka ba yo na de tritu gro de na jin shero me la de ne ana jimba tsujin zoba tonde tu su ga sanji sale tritu res what is on the zar melo me be ma wa ta na la ya ma shi tu san jo ba kalan joro shero me paro shingande ne mebe mebe shanchu reba numayi shesos di sher jinsu nabara taba manjushin yang tabi tawa yang manye de sher mena drebo tenye la jimba dani nabar tamanjuru, naba tamanjuru, jendun tangwa jimbi chu jesong, haman nebe, tuanji zhuwa yin xedang, shiro na yu meba masi na, chujin tenba, tamanjuru, pechi shiro mebe, chujin ta, shibi junji nyamu nujin juru shedang sa shiro lubi junji senyu na rubi yuden tala nememe lenye tula megayi tsu changshin yuden mebe jala trabajin shedang sa keba nala pyodo nga jujin tele chajin saba yenmeba debi junji yonso madribi ila jambu shiro memendo shedan shiro chula zome lochana ti tawa yonso tamanjuro sheso tela jala trabani yente mebi jebula traba lenji shunyan nyanen ruwa ho teta na tamo mobi meba ne shiroji yueshin mashabato mudula tena shawa na dubi shiroji bala nyobadan tu yueji begude nyama yu cha shawa jujin to rui juna mena kangimba shiro yueji na tujin jongyu na tada se juro 매장 바지를 셰당 대유 랑기 토나 군도데 데레 셰로 줄라 손바샤 셰소사 다가데 셰로드 셰다 게치부르 셰로드 메나 네 가리나 라자도 도자가 셰마데 또드는 가르 레비유데 그걸로 셰로를 되는 정도요 아래서 어떤 정도이다.
The faults of not having wisdom are as follows. Without wisdom, generosity and the other perfections are as if blind. The verse summary of the perfection of wisdom in 8,000 lines states, "How could billions of blind people without a guide who do not know the way enter the city? Once these 5 perfections lack wisdom, they are blind. As they lack a guide, they cannot reach enlightenment." So if any among the 5, such as generosity, ethics, patience, joyous perseverance, and concentration lack wisdom, they are like a blind person. They don't have the suitable understanding in order to be perfected. So they need guidance in order to properly be perfected. Consequently, generosity and the other perfections do not become pure. You do not find the correct view. The Compendium of Perfection states, if those intent upon the final fruit are without wisdom, their generosity does not purify them. The Buddha said, giving for others' sake is supreme generosity. Other kinds of giving serve only to increase one's wealth. And also, ethical discipline does not become pure unless wisdom's light dispels the darkness. Ethical discipline without wisdom usually becomes sullied by afflictions through faulty understanding. If your mind is muddled by the fault of erring intelligence and have no interest in keeping the virtue of patience, you maintain a dislike for weighing merit and fault, and are like an unworthy king who becomes famous. For adepts, wisdom is lauded as foremost. Nothing else is as subtle or profound. Without wisdom, you do not head straight for the mental path that is unclouded by the defects of desire. Without maintaining joyous perseverance in wisdom's ways, your view will not become pure. Here the king who becomes famous refers to an unworthy king for whom fame occurs once but then declines. You do not repel the darkness of delusion, confusion, as long as the wisdom's great light does not shine, but when it does, you cast away the darkness. So you must make an effort to generate wisdom with whatever capacity and strength you have. The Compendium of Perfection says, like the dawning of the sun's great light, the enormous power of the wisdom's light arises, and the concealing darkness in beings' minds is completely dispelled. Only its name is left behind. And also, therefore, with all the power at your disposal, work hard at the methods for producing such wisdom.
Tadana tamu me bi me ba ne shiro yue chen ma sha ba do mo do la sa ten de sha wa na do bi shiro je ba la ne ba ta tu ji yu ji me gu de ni mi yue chen sha wa ju jin do Rui ju la me na gang gin ba shiro yue ji tu jin rong yu na tang ji sen ju ru mi zang ba ji le xie dang de yu shiro tu na gun do de den de yi shiro tu la zhuan ba xia xie so sa da shiro do de shiro de me na ane wate kaso kore, kare ina wate shea kale kabres, shero ka nyamate shea sona, tene, te kona nila mo maribat na, lende la mo maribat nga nagres. Shawa na, dubi, shero, nyabat jiyu ji mbe gwe de, nyame weze shawa, jujin to nruyu ju na, me na kangen ba, shero weze tujin yung yu na, ne tanji senjuru mezan bajilu she dans deyu shiro tuna kundu de dende shiro tula zomba she sos oda shiro toni tu bi shiro de na anta kona ni la mariba de lende la mariba tu ngalo enda sandu res oda toni tu bi shiro de mena oda yung mares oda sonde izar shesosa.
So the wisdom realizing emptiness becomes something that one must have, indispensable along the path. Therefore, with all the power at your disposal, work hard at the methods producing wisdom. Because there are two kinds of ignorance that keep us bound to suffering. The ignorance of karma and its results, and the ignorance of the nature of reality. So wisdom serves as an opponent to those. Wisdom is the only thing that will eradicate those ignorances that we have. And once those ignorances are negated or abandoned, then what they cause becomes abandoned. So the other afflictions and the grasping and so forth become abandoned. So this is why wisdom is indispensable if one wishes to become enlightened, because the two kinds of ignorance are what bind us to cyclic existence, and it's only wisdom that gets rid of them. Like the dawning, Rinpoche reread, the Compendium of Perfection says, like the dawning of the sun's great light, the enormous power of wisdom's light arises, and the concealing darkness in beings' minds is completely dispelled. Only its name is left behind. So it's showing how the ignorance of those two kinds is completely dispelled, and all that's left over is that name. There's no ignorance left over. Diksong Rinpoche.
So
what are the causes of confusion?
Inte lelu nyudan ne tenge temba ta ni da wanjuru ni ji wanjuru mudu nga chu da tubi shero chula meme da lubi nga je nebe dendra Masen dala shenba shonyu jo kebe jo tenba made dan lobi nadu tuche lodata temo jun shesonso tena ne tenyu lama rindu nyagote shiro dushi tuba tsawa sha shesunba tera keba tene neba tunbi tuba re sha gute teme na tuba le shunwa tan samba le shunyu shiro majela teta na jishi gomba meshebi shetan tuba shena di tuen sambe sanjun ki shiro jela tele gonjun ki shiro 타이바 준셔 대양 바네 바유 대뇨몰로 멜로 곰비 츠미시 데메 대고 지시 상바샤 대유 틀라 전자 대줄레 사지 곰비 셰라 양반중 셰송소사 What the shero dangi na what the shero jachibula so what the sumo yungures what the sumo things are.
What are the causes of confusion? They are relying on bad friends, laziness, indolence, oversleeping, taking no pleasure in analysis and discernment, lack of interest in the vast variety of phenomena, the pride of thinking, I know, when you do not. The major wrong views in being discouraged and thinking, someone like me cannot do this, and thus not taking pleasure in relying upon the learned. The Compendium of Perfection says, laziness, indolence, and reliance upon bad friends, being governed by sleep, no feeling for discernment, no interest in the sage's most sublime wisdom, inquiring under the influence of false pride, lacking the faith to rely upon learned persons due to the attachment of self from feelings of inadequacy, the great poison of false concepts which are wrong views. These are the causes of confusion. Therefore, as the Compendium of Perfection says, serve and venerate a guru worthy of trust and study to achieve wisdom. So, once you Rinpoche Chern Kabar Kaso, Chu the Deta Chu
Sele Gonjung Shira Yamba Jun Shiras.
Oh, okay. Less so.
Tujung Shira, Sanjung Shira, Gonjung Shira.
Tuche.
Yeah.
Once you rely on a learned person, you must study in accord with your capacity, for if you do not, you will not produce the wisdom that arises from study and the wisdom that arises from reflection, whereupon you will not know what to meditate upon. And if you do study, you will produce the wisdom that arises from reflection by thinking over the meaning of what you have studied, and from this you will gain vast wisdom that arises from meditation. Dixon.
That Lumen Boyu se Middletown.
Lessa.
Nabacha ne Lumen Boyu Maro, Lumen Boyu.
Lessa.
Lumen Boyu Tunyu Milon Gombi Tumishes. Tujung Shira Meba in a Milon double than Gombi to the Shigmares, Tumishe, the men Toku Jishi, Samba Sha. Tujung men and Carson Dangwares, Sans and Sayo Mares, Deyu Tula, Chanja, the Jules, Tujung Shero Deba in a tea, Jusheva Le, and the Sanjung Dungures, Sanjung Shero. Gombe Shero Yabaju, and the Gonjung Shero Yungures, Tujung Shero, Tangazu, Tony Mataba, the Sul Coachasuna, Tujung Shero Yimbare. Tā matāpa sakandani chīmbā, kechi kinjība. Tēne, dēmbā mātrīpa sakandani chīmbā rē sāng, kuwā chāsūna tūyūng shirā. Tēne jebā lā tēne cīmā chūsūna sāngchūng shirā. Tēlā mīne tēne shēnyā tā lhātūng tūsūna gōchūng shirā. Wā tēne izarē.
So we go through these three kinds of wisdom. In an order, as stated before, the wisdom arisen from hearing, the wisdom arisen from contemplation or analysis, and then the wisdom arisen from meditation. So these are the three stages through which one becomes wise, if you will. Once you rely on a learned person, you must study in accord with your capacity. If you do not, you will not produce the wisdom that arises from study and the wisdom that arises from reflection, whereupon you will not know what to meditate upon. Once you, for instance, if you hear a teaching on emptiness or teaching on something you didn't know before, so something you were ignorant of, as a note. So when you hear Rinpoche use the example of emptiness, or you hear a teaching, once you understand that those words, Rinpoche, Tunjung Shera, the Sanlodang Gu Anjer Gu Kuna. Tunjung
Shera
Isheba.
Anju Go.
Anjer Go.
Anju Go, the Imbade Sambachuro, the Tujung Shera inside.
The Gutsu Gu? The Tomba ni the Dunda Gu?
Ta Tomba ni Dunda Lukua Chasuna.
Dunda.
Tomba ni Indene Jimbare Sansan Kosuna. Then Tujung Shera Imbare.
Okay.
Tala then Sumet Rosuna Sanjung. Tela Chanel, Tela Min Chanel Hadung Tosuna Gonjong. So
there is, in this wisdom, arisen from hearing, Rinpoche said that there is this it comes, Rinpoche said, through the ear consciousness, but it is the mental consciousness that we're speaking of where this arisal takes place. And there is an understanding of the words that were presented. So I said, I asked Rinpoche the question, does the person have to understand what has been said? Or is it something they can then study later? And he said that there's an understanding of what has been said, but there isn't a valid cognition around it. And then you analyze it to get to the point of a valid cognition eventually at a wisdom arisen from meditation. So you would first hear it and understand what has been said, and then analyze it and infer the understanding, and then meditation is the actual realization of the direct perception. Rinpoche, the Gonjung Sherab, the Ngusun Sema Chap?
고는 저 말. 또 봐요로. 고는 셔러더니 돈이라면 비는 줄라비 줄 고는 셔러 들어와.
Ale,
돈이 무슨 또 봐요 말어.
Jpog Sema.
제바 요제 제바 많이 봐 요제.
Ale. Then the Geshe Shegamare.
Yeah.
I was asking Rinpoche if it qualified, if it's a direct valid cognition. He said no. He said that if it's a wisdom arisen from meditation, there isn't necessarily a direct valid cognition, because there's a wisdom arisen from meditation at the path of preparation where there hasn't been a direct perception of emptiness, but emptiness is the object of observation. And then I said, oh, so you mean it's necessarily inference, because inference is valid an inferential valid cognition. He said some are and some aren't, so I left it there. So I always want to translate what we were speaking of. So he said it's not always necessarily so that this wisdom that's arisen from meditation is direct valid cognition. It can be inference also, and it looks like something. Gonjong Sherab, Jpog Mayimba, Ngunsum Mayimba, Yoruba. Okay, so there is something that's neither inferential valid cognition nor direct valid cognition, but is wisdom arisen. There is a wisdom that is that arisen from meditation. There's a wisdom arisen from meditation that is neither inferential valid cognition nor direct valid cognition. So we'll just leave it there, because I want to get back to where we were, because I'm getting on a tangent here. But that is that's the way that one understands. It has an understanding through hearing, and then analysis, and then meditation is realization. So these are the stages of the understanding: wisdom arisen from hearing, analysis, meditation. Then Lopum Pao Lung, little study is like blindness. You do not know how to meditate. So then we have a quote from Arya Shura. Arya Shura is also known as Lopum Pao in Tibetan. He was previously a non-Buddhist who then became a great Buddhist scholar. Little study is like blindness. You do not know how to meditate. Without study, what could there be to reflect upon? Therefore, from the cause of making an effort to study, you meditate in accord with the reflection, and thereby gain vast wisdom. Okay, Lopum Bao Lung Tsar.
달 르면 보고 될 르면 보고 공 셔러 집에 셔라 이 말이야.
Lesso.
안 동부 셔러 바지 더발 진 나바단도 쥐네 와데 공 커버 이 말이야. 그 아마를 나게 바시다 이스. 나 나바도 셔버 그거 쥐는 거 커버 이스. 안 아마이 쥐 단다 커요 말이야. 그나 나랜잘 sans 나랜잔 쥐 커버 이나는 그래마 단다 커고요 말이스. 는 르면 보고 그 나랜잘 땅이 말아. 그 나랜잘 르면 보고 페비 가서 나랜잘 네 바울 저토게 개발해서 말아오다. 개발면 둘래 안은 그 와데 추추 나랜잘 폰수나 그가 싫어 버지 그랬어. 나 폰수 나바지 있어.
Oh.
어텔라 둘래네.
Lesso.
그저 보게서 말하면 둘래 나랜잘 개발 쪽에 와 얘기지 뒤네. 소망은 둘래 잡으랬어.
Lesso.
저는 소마되게 어디 좀이 들어가는 프로지면 오늘 얘기도 캐네. 로슈 배제를 뭐로도 다 안돼 원래 제버레스. 저는 아연데 앞에네 저는 나래자로 어디 루면 보도 주네 보방송으로다. 어떤 로주시야 도
Arya Deva lesson.
아연데 yeah.
Okay. So the story is, when we look at Arya Shura's story, also known as Ashvagosha, Lopun Bao, Miti Dayan, many names. So this particular gentleman was previously a non-Buddhist. He went to his mother and said, "I'm the smartest person in all of the land. There's no one smarter than me." And she said to him, "You are very smart, but you haven't been to Nalanda yet, and that if you went to Nalanda and you were able to show that there's no one smarter than you there, then we could say you're the smartest person in the land or the world, when the proclamation was. So he said, okay, I'll go to Nalanda University. So he showed up at Nalanda and he said, this is a newer detail that I'd forgotten, that he said, if I am defeated in debate, I'll turn into a Buddhist. I'll become Buddhist. But if I defeat you, then you all have to follow my Dharma. So he made this big statement. So they basically made a bet. He said, if my logic is the best, then we'll follow my Dharma, and if yours is the best, we'll follow your Dharma. So the monks were having a very difficult time debating him. He was very intelligent. They knew he was wrong, but he was a very skilled logician, and he was disproving a lot of the monks. So they became fearful because they knew that what he was teaching was wrong, and they just weren't smart enough to be able to challenge him. So they wrote a letter to Nagarjuna. So the story is told that this letter is carried by a protector deity that turns into a bird of some sort. A mystical bird carries this letter to Nagarjuna. Nagarjuna then sends his spiritual son. He's called his spiritual son, so is Chandrakirti at times, but Aryadeva, one of his main students. Aryadeva goes and defeats Ashvagosha or Aryashura, and Aryashura then is locked in the library at the monastery at Nalanda University. So then Aryashura begins to read the books in the library, and I'm not sure if Rinpoche said it, but sees a prophecy, then has a great amount about him actually this happening in a book that the Buddha wrote. He had a great amount of faith, and then started to study all of the books with a lot of effort, and became one of the greatest Buddhist scholars. Okay, Diksun. Less so. Less so. Korsum? Korsum Nampar.
Korsum Nampar Sana, then Meda Zuchi, Niji,
Less so.
Migzo Tonga,
Less so.
Son the Jan Rigo Korsum. 다 내가 주변에 댄진데 니뉴디 말봐 대바차 시지 어떤 자고 손대서
Mikin Rinpoche Zuton.
메기나 바시바 메기 조지 니제 메기나 바시 조 통거로 될 코송
Sumba
내가
Gare.
손데 들어왔다
Tambo?
메기시바
Misheba
조
Tambo.
니제
Zuni.
메기시바 조 통화송
Okay.
코송 내가 주변에 봐대 뉴지제스 대바차 시지
Okay. Tuchena. Okay. All right, that's clear. Let me just see where we are. Okay. The Venerable Maitreya also says in the Sublime Continuum, the conceptualizations of the three spheres are asserted to be cognitive obscurations, while the conceptualizations such as stinginess and the like are asserted to be afflictive obstructions. Solely, wisdom is the cause of their elimination, nothing else. So wisdom is supreme, study is its basis, so study is supreme. Shantideva's Compendium of Trainings in Verse says, be forbearing and then study. Stay in a forest and then persevere at meditative equipoise. Then his auto commentary, Shantideva wrote, with impatience you become disheartened and cannot forbear, so your perseverance at study, etc., declines. And without study you do not know the means for either meditative stabilization or for clearing away the afflictions. Therefore, without becoming disheartened, study. And the questions of the Narayana formula, just so, child of good lineage, if you study, wisdom will come. If you are possessed of wisdom, the afflictions will be stilled. Once you have no afflictions, demons do not have a chance with you. So, going back to the three spheres, I asked Rinpoche, the three spheres are, for instance, the eye consciousness and form, and then the apprehension of that form are the three spheres. So I said the first sphere is the eye consciousness, the second would be the form it apprehends, and then the actual apprehension of that is the third. So that it says, while conceptualizations such as stinginess and the like are asserted as afflictive obstructions, the obstructions to omniscience are the imprints of those. So the conceptualizations of the three spheres are asserted to be cognitive obscurations, while conceptualizations such as stinginess and the like are asserted to be afflictive obstructions. Solely wisdom is the cause of their elimination, nothing else. So wisdom is supreme, study is its basis, so study is supreme. So I believe that's it. Diksong Rinpoche.
다 고송 나버 또바 다 됐네 시지 집안 되서는 네 고송 대바 주반점에 된지 시지 인스나 네 라주 박을 어거마도 탄주 라고 말어 라주 번다고도 근데 시지 집안 되서 된지 시지 인스 라주 박을 어거마도 오만 탄주 라고 말어.
So Ranjupa Denzin Shidipa
Shidi is
okay. The Umaranju Shidi show?
Umaranju Shidi show is Denzin Jaro.
I mean Tanjiro show.
Denzin Bacha Denzin Bacha.
Denzin Pakcha.
Denzin Yudi Denzin Yudi Chao. Denzin Bacha Shidi in
Okay. So here, the reason it's written like this is that when we look at the middle way schools, there's the middle way autonomy and the middle way consequence school. This is according to the middle way autonomy school, because the middle way autonomy school believes that it is grasping that itself that is obstructions to omniscience, the grasping at true establishment, whereas the middle way consequence school believes that it is the Umi Tenjor show, Denzin Pacha. Okay. So the middle way consequence school believes that the grasping at true establishment is actually afflictive obstructions, and that the imprints of the grasping at true establishment are the obstructions to omniscience. So here it's saying that the conceptualizations of the three spheres, the grasping is the obstructions to omniscience. That's basically what it's saying. But Rinpoche is saying this is according to the Middle Way Autonomy School, whereas the Middle Way Consequence School would state that actually is the afflictive obstructions, this grasping, whereas the imprints of the grasping themselves are the obstructions to omniscience. So it's a detailed point, but it's important Rinpoche pointed out. Diksung Rinpoche.
다 라두 레장 ane zoja tuba tsewa sha tene naso neba sha nyaba sha la zun sha shin she song la ti rande le jang
Visar.
mezo ba ne jo na ane sum ne bi shir tuba la so ba la jamba nyaba ju shin Tuba dama denpe ne san tenji ta dan nyue mungpa nabara zhung yu ta jama she des ta jama she de tubi juwa meba tuba tsewa she dan shime jbe shuba le jang dada riji bo tuba dan dena shero jungwan joros shero dan dena nyumoba shewan joro radu shewan joro nyumoba mebala duji la menye dosa shero duyoba ina wadu nyumoba nyeba dogres tuba dan dena shero jungwan joro shero dan dena nyömo barado shewanjo toni to shero yoba ina nyömo nön grota entidad
Leso.
shewanjoro nyömo mebala duji nyömo bosona duji la nyega maris menya to shezos what the college.
So again, Shanti Deva's compendium of the trainings in verse: be forbearing and then study, stay in a forest, and then persevere at meditative equipoise. His own auto commentary on the compendium of training says, with impatience, you become disheartened and cannot forbear, so your perseverance at study, etc., declines, and without study, you do not know the means for either meditative stabilization or for clearing away the afflictions. Therefore, without becoming disheartened, study. And so here, then the questions of the Narayana formula. Just so, child of good lineage, if you study, wisdom will come. If you are possessed with wisdom, the afflictions will be stilled. Once you have no afflictions, demons do not have a chance with you. So wisdom annihilates the afflictions. So it's the antidote for the afflictions. So it's for that reason that one needs to cultivate it. Digsum.
Tetana, chu tsijin tu druban deba na la, lanji su tamba, churo nanji shiro jibi, julana meba, chama mebi, sunro dan, tenju la mando, teba guzo sa. Tetan chu tsijin druban deba ina, chu druban deba yoba ina, deba na la, lanji su tamba, churo tu nanji shiro dilwa nyane abje gures, shiro jibi julana meba, chama mebi, sunro tenju le mando, teba zi pasha maba te gures, ndo tanga, wad tega ina ku tujung shiro maba je gures, tujung shiro jisun tala tene sanjung gures, tala tene gujung gures, teba goso, she longtan rebe drube jang, te gomban do nyanto mandruba, dene nyalen ji tse, susu tubi shiro jegung gobala ngeba manye jins. Teta gomban do nyanto mandruba ten sal kodigen dene nyalen ji tse, susu tubi shiro ji jegung gobala ngeba manye bi jun res. Maguban do nyabi do nyabi shin jilugi ngaba nyeba baji chun yinbe da lesu deba ne debe ne tendawa do jin do pon shawos wo ten sanlu do na pon kures nenju wa chembe shenes nenju kadam nenju ba chembe shene jo na ba thaji chembe saje drobala ana bod doke tambala shawa majeba lati tanje tembatu ne beba tu shebe kaya machine son pachun kabi shene shawa kene jane kujala loba shawa yimbe ne ta majun ya de kun la she la chue me shebe she sana chetar she dan son kes shenga yi trayu pudoa ne jedong shebe dusos cheja je lan son ne nga yi gishi na ji sakeba rawala ten du yebe jen la ranchu madans ne tandram mashi sheba ta magube ne le chung junde masambe ne lode junde sambe ne lode haji ndele ndru mabe ne danson shara yishene jan chanla chamaji jibado sonye tsawa me sanje ne tsawa yin sanje ko ma to jibado bachata tsayo mares samaji bata gore sanje sona den bachata tsabres shezon kama yishene jan kama yishene chöshena ji sheje gunyana rani nyane roa de nge tu la jonye ne du shena sheje gu senye chede chu ne du shena shegu de satung de la ne madube tenjuji anga machuba shela Tuba jun mechido shanyang to sang gomba bola magu sheba bola gunyang de cheba bola dito ru nyeche ne gomba bo kona la gong songo wa tanma wa ta kante wa de shiro sada jegur song den sar
Lesa. Sungo. Sash. Kamapas. Okay.
songo
Okay. So, scripture and that's where we are. Scripture and reasoning establish the following. Those who wish to properly practice the teaching need a broad study of the stainless scriptures and their commentaries, the unexcelled cause that gives rise to the wisdom which thoroughly distinguishes phenomena, which is the sacred life force of the path. However, not achieving wisdom while thinking that a broad study is necessary to develop it, simply the fault of your not being convinced that you need the analytical meditation of discerning wisdom when the time comes for practice, and of having the mistaken conviction that thinks that analytical meditation is not necessary. Therefore, those of you who want what is best for yourselves should eliminate such a mistaken conviction, as though getting rid of poison. Now, Jorwa Chenpo said, the great tantric yogi, Nejor is yogi, the great yogi says, Jopa, When it comes to accomplishing the state of omniscient enlightenment, whether you show off or conceal that you studied only a handbook, you cannot get anywhere with reading a yak's load of books. Pung Chonwa says, Punchoa placed an opened sacred text beside his pillow and said, "We must learn the text, so even though you do not get a chance to read them, make a wish to read them all. If someone said that you should practice the teaching without understand it, how would you do it?" Batawa said 3 times to a monk, Jingawa, who was escorting him a short distance, "You are enjoying yourself too much." He then continued, "You rely upon my teacher who is like the sky covering the earth. So do not salivate over other teachers. Since you do not have to read the root texts and their commentaries and mark their corresponding passages, you do not have a lot of work. You are happy because you do not think about cause and effect while you work at certain activities by means of certain tantric practices, and you can be satisfied with these many things?" Shirawa said, "Until you become a Buddha, your studies are not finished. They are finished when you become a Buddha." Gamapa said, "Some say when you practice the teachings, what need is there of knowledge? And they degenerate. This idea is a real danger for those of us who have studied little. Others say if you really try, you do not need knowledge. This is very dangerous. If you are making a big effort at the teaching, knowledge is required. And since it is not completed in this brief lifetime, we must resolve, I will study continually through many lifetimes without interrupting the succession of lives, having leisure and opportunity. Some think that meditators do not need to study, only those who explain the teachings do. And those who explain the teachings and do not study merely run the risk of sinning, while it is precisely the meditator who must study to avoid straying from the path." Disa.
Tata drubala shira tejo, druba shebala shira gores, shira ju shebala den druba chu gores. Tuba mena muronwa la ngaba Chenmo nye gutes. Tuba mena ane gonjong shira to gonya alen sheba yongu mares.
Lessa.
Tuba kesheberes gode. Ten alen tu so Chegung gobala nyala chegung gobala gongla chegung tangju gong sinyi roda gobala ngaba manye na shindu hong gas nyala jido ne chegung na gongla chene gongba tangju gong nyi je ta chegung sen dan tel san dan ne lana je gongba ina lala san dan cheba ma je ba de san dan jaba de la chegung gong se roda 다 조세 몸산다네 공부들라 제공스 제공 거발라 내가 많이 나스 뭐야 갈리 가버렸어 뭔가 잡은 대비체 네 잡은 대비 되는 제가 시기장 냐래 좀 혼도 담마 다방어서 먼저와 저러와 Rishido Kone wants what the Kasugre Danyana Abu you can take to what the Suzuki Tensa of Zendamo, Koyungores Dambangoso, Monroa, Jor Tawa, Shido, Gunja can get the name of the Tubal Temba, the Tuba the Zendamajil, Koyungores Jor Rendawa Shido, Kone Ti jusen karesna ranyo do chanjawala ruba gu ruba sanjawala ten ruba mane umares ruba gugres sanji ji tembala tuba gushi tembala pemba dans sanji ji tembala tuba gushi tembala pembas tuba gus laba ina sanji tembala pengres pemba dans Ruba Sheba, Ni Susun Zimbi, Jaju Chenmo, Gendu Matesa, Ruba Sheba, Juba Sheba, the water, Gewanzin the Kenjiman water, Chika de Reta, and then Gawam Hatesa. Gawam Hates, Hanji Tembala, Longi Tembatan, Tubi Tembani, Longi Tembatan, Drubi Dambani, Ni Le Melas, Sanjay Dambala, Long Damba, the Tubi Dambani Madu Maris, Lonchu Dunus Casa. Sanjay Dambala, Long Damba, the Tubi Dambani, Chocola, Long Choco, Tubi Chocuni, Don't be done, should not need London to be done. The shed of Majidan, Rubashiba Kona was. Living in go and really Yoda. Don't be done, should not need this. Sanjay Chudala and to be Dambatan, Long Dambani or this.
So?
And Long Damban, they do condensing good, to be Damba condensing Gursana, the shed of Majiba, Rubashiba Kona was. The name Labason Yasan Labade. To be Damban Zimbi, Ceres, Sudin Jilaba, Dingan Jilaba, Sheda Jilaba, Nelson Lagina, to be Damban Zimbades. Ne to long Damban Zimbi said the Garasana, the Kanju, the Tanju, and the Susunya like Jen Sheba, Jen Cheba Hotel, long Damban Zimbas, Ceres, Lonchu Dunus, Chenet, to be Damba, Lausunya like what to be about how soon and let what is the road to this one there.
Decent. Okay. Thus you must be convinced that wisdom and the study that causes it are indispensable for proper practice. Moreover, unless you reach certainty about the need for analytical meditation when you practice, you'll have a very hard time getting anywhere. Even some well-regarded scholars of the scriptural collections claim, understand study to be either a mere preliminary to practice or to be a background support, like mountains at the back of a valley, but not the actual instructions. For this reason, you need practice to quickly attain Buddhahood and study to benefit the Buddhist teaching. This is contradictory nonsense. There are just two kinds of teaching as scriptural and the teaching that has been put into practice. The former makes known the procedures for practice, and the latter is assimilating the practice before you have understood the procedures. Therefore, doing the practice without error is the best way to uphold the teaching. Moreover, unerringly upholding the teaching in the sense of practice depends upon unerring understanding of scriptural teaching. So we have scriptural doctrine and realizational doctrine. So the scriptural doctrine is the teaching as scripture, and then the realizational doctrine is the teaching that has been put into practice, it says here. So we divide the teachings into this way. Then Rinpoche, the Long Demba, Dopi Demba, then Longku Chuku Garshene Chiran de Lobsang.
That Long Demba done.
Chiran Chuku Geche Shesun. Chikshene Yomari.
Long Demba done. Long Demba done. Dopi Demba Nindo. Long Demba, Dopi Demba Nindo. Long Chuku done. Long Demba Chibakarius. Long Chuku. Long Demba. Long Chuku in a Long Demba image. Long Demba in a Long Chuku in Majo.
Long Gichuku?
Long Chukur in a
Chukur.
Chukur. Kaim Chop. Sanji Kaim Chows.
Oh, okay.
Long Chuku in a Sanji Kaim Chop. Long Demba in a Sanji Kaim Machos. Tenju to Jandi was Sawashirola Suba.
Okay, so when we look at, for instance, scriptural and realizational doctrines, and we look at the turning of the wheel of Dharma, for instance, the turning of the wheel, then Yanjasur Langari Muso.
Long Chuku in a Long Demba Imichop. Long Demba in a Long Chuku in Macho, Sawashiro.
That's good. Longi, scriptural. So if it is, so Rinpoche just explained a way that we would look at it. If it longi chuku, if it is a scriptural turning of the wheel of doctrine, so if it's a scriptural turning of the wheel of sangje kai and bichap, the longi chuku yena sangje kai and bichap.
longa temba ina swaji kai macho.
Okay, so if it is a scriptural turning of the wheel of Dharma, so Rinpoche's so comparing the two topics, scriptural turning of the wheel of Dharma and scriptural truth. So Rinpoche is saying, what are these? And there are three permutations if we were to compare them. If it is a scriptural turning of the wheel of Dharma, it is a scriptural truth, but if it is a scriptural truth, it isn't necessarily a scriptural turning of the wheel of Dharma, because scriptural turning of the wheel of Dharma is Buddhist speech, is speech. Then Lungi Demba, the Lungi Chukor Machap Sho, you could say the root wisdom text. We could say is an example of something which is a Lungi Demba, scriptural truth, but is not a turning of the wheel, because it's not a pronouncement of Lord Buddha, but it's a scriptural truth. Something which would be both Nika Yimba, the conjure. So you could say something which is both would be the Heart Sutra. The Sutra of the Heart of Transcendent Knowledge is both a scriptural turning of the wheel of Dharma and a scriptural truth. And something which is neither, you could come up with so many things that are neither one of those two. You always say rabbit with horns is... So when we say, okay, so why is the Heart Sutra is a scriptural Lungi Demba. Just give me one sec. Is a scriptural the Heart Sutra is a scriptural turning of the wheel of Dharma because it is Buddha's speech, and you could say it the same for why is it a scriptural truth, because it's Buddha's speech. So this is something which is both. It's called the Nika Yimbi Mu. So when you compare, just as a translator's notes, when you compare any two objects in the universe, existence, let's say, you can probably do non-existence too, but if you compare any two objects, when you look at the way that they relate to one another, they either are three possibilities, four possibilities, they contradict each other, which means neither one ever permeates the other, or they're one meaning, synonymous. So that's what Rinpoche says, three permutations. It'd be way too much commentary for me to explain it, but you can look into it from there. But that's what Rinpoche is talking about. Three permutations, four permutations. Is it contradictory, or is it mutually inclusive? Is it synonymous? So that's when, in Debate Courtyard, they always take two topics, and then they look at the relationship between these two topics, and that's the format in which they do it. So anyway, you can look it up. There's a lot of books about it. Digson Rinpoche, Triadan Lenja Dutsu. So if we say realizational turning of the wheel and realizational truth, we would say Musum is also three possibilities or three permutations. So if it is a realizational turning of the wheel of Dharma, it is necessarily a realizational truth. But if it's a realizational truth, it's not necessarily a realizational turning of the wheel of Dharma. There's something which is both, and there's something which is neither, so that makes it three possibilities. So now we have time for some questions, a couple questions. Tu Chena Rinpoche, thanks Sheda Sobodu.
Thank you for teaching, Jeff. Thank you for translating. In thinking of the three spheres and ultimate truth, does the wisdom that realizes emptiness and the direct perception of emptiness, sometimes if I've heard that people who have seen emptiness, does that perception take place in the eye consciousness or the mental consciousness?
Mental, but the Doni Dopi Sherab, the Miki Sheba, Yichi number Sheba, mental consciousness. So the seeing of emptiness, they say seeing, it's just the way of explaining it, but it's occurs, the mental consciousness becomes aware of the ultimate nature of an object.
Rinpoche, my questions are, I have two questions. The first one is, when you talk about the obstructions to omniscience,
Okay.
you describe them as being imprints
Correct.
of the afflictions.
Correct.
Do you mean to say that these imprints are karmic imprints, or are they different kinds of imprints?
They are karmic. They're imprints of our actions. The Shidri Pakcha, Lay Pacha, Shidri Pacha, Leg Pacha, Lay Pacha, Tenzin Pacha. So literally, it's the afflictions, the imprints of the afflictions. I asked it specifically, and he just rooted back to that it's the imprints of the afflictions.
Okay. And then my other question is, with regards to how karma manifests in our lives. My question is, so my intuition is that my karma does not cause an ant in Ghana because I have no relationship to it, so it doesn't pertain to my experience. But at the same time, when I suffer something, it's because of my karma. So the way I'm currently understanding karma is that my karma is not necessarily what is caused in the world, or that my karma is not causing what's in the world, but it's causing how I suffer it if I do.
Right.
Is that correct? Is that a correct perspective?
Oh, okay. So you want to know if that's if your experience of the world is your karma, but not the world itself.
Right.
Is that the question?
Yes, I would say that.
The ngatsu the zambaling, the mechik, the zambaling tongudu, the tanda nga, the kamba degadu, the Middletown nga yure, the mambo tsanlodan. That's good. Just one more time. Okay, I remember now. Dene nge le the chotse zusun, the zambaling zusun, the kamba zusun, nge le, the nge gari tung nge le. The kamba nge le mena kamba yure.
Le mena kamba yung maro.
Yine the
Le mena chu le mena te de kamba de yung guru ta. Magenda kamba yuru.
Magenda. Dene the kamba gari, the kamba yapo, kamba ducha, the ngatsule, the nge tsampa, the kamba yapo, yene magenda tsampa, the kamba chida ducha. They lay in. So we can't say that. So the outer world itself continues to go on without you. So I asked Rinpoche if the outer world is dependent on your having the karma. Is it there because you... so collectively you could say it at a subtle level. Everyone's collective karma creates an environment. But really what it does is it creates your experience within that environment. Because he said if you aren't here, this center still is. So I was speaking strictly from my experience. I see this center, I see this world, and I was explaining it in that way. So that's why the question is being answered kind of in that way. So if I'm out of the equation, or you're out of the equation, the center is still here, this house is still here. But what your karma does is it projects you into the potential to be in this house and then specifically be here with these people. And then you make observations on the qualities based on your karma. So I said, do the qualities, such as if I think this is a beautiful house, but somebody very wealthy comes in and says, it's very small, it's not a very nice house, is that karma? So Rinpoche said, yes, that's the karma, the experience that you're having with the objects and the fact that you landed on those specific objects themselves. But the objects are still there if you're not. Is that clear?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so my question was, so we have the truth body, the enjoyment body, and the emanation body.
Okay.
So I'm confused as to, are we all there at one time, or are we like, you know what I mean?
The Buddha is.
So he has three bodies basically, like at all
He
times?
or she, yeah.
Yeah, right, he or she.
The Sanjay, Longku Chuku.
뭐
The Kon Longku De, the Truku Yu, the Chuku Yu, Dutsu Chi.
얘도
Yeah, all at the same time. Yep.
The afflicted obstructions and demons, is that the same? Is that different? Is one
I'm gonna have
activates
to
another?
get where is it in the text exactly?
On page 219.
219.
There's a quote.
Yeah.
Questions of Narayana formula. It just says, once you have no afflictions, demons do not have a chance with you. And it just raised a question in me. Is
Okay. Give me 1 sec.
Okay.
I'm sure it's not. It could be. I mean, there are demons are created by our afflictions. So hold on 1 second. Verse 57. Verse 57 starts there. Okay. Long. Nyomompa mepa la duki la menye.
영문 본사스나 영문 본사나 dügnötu var.
Dugare. Du show?
Haybe du 영문비 du. Den chedag du var.
Ale, the four maras. It's speaking of the maras, afflictions, death.
영문비 du 영문로. 영문비 du.
So first is the maras are, first would be affliction, mara of afflictions. Then nyomompi du.
다 chedag du스는 아주 쉬웠더라고.
Death, death is the second, the mara of death.
봄비 du 그 봄부터 좀 말해.
The aggregates are I can't say the word cyclical. So the aggregates of cyclic existence, those are the third mara.
haybe du 가라원주 두자요로.
Jipa,
haybe
Lai,
du.
Lai Pu,
haybe du.
they don't go.
hay보에
God's child,
두스로다.
a deity's child of a deity. So it's Lai Pu Du.
야.
So it's literally translates as the mara of the deity's child. Then show
du 가라원주 du 가라원주.
Dugar
du
Wanshu.
가라원주.
Wanshu.
천주산데 근데 너바지 되긴 하트서 있어.
Gar Wangshu.
du
Shiva.
가라원주. 천주산데.
Wangshu Su. Shiva.
원주 시바 인지로.
Shiva. So then Garshine Lai Pu. Child.
hay보로다. 라고. 그 hay보.
Shiva Lai Pu.
인지래.
Okay, so it's just the name of it. It's the God's child. And an example would be Shiva. I said, why? He said, well, Shiva's a God's child. So there you could look into it further. But those are the four maras, and the maras are what are being spoken of. And afflictions would be within that. But mara of death, mara of afflictions, mara of this God's child. And the
haybe du슨 두자도 놓고 주요 말해서 수수 말어 세제인 베이스 마세제 당지스.
then the nyomo shit
녀모비 두 chedag
chedadu.
봄비 두.
And the aggregates are the other one. The aggregates, the cyclical, cyclical, did I get it? Cyclical aggregates are the third, and then the fourth are the gods, child of the gods.
you, Rinpoche. My question is, firstly, thank you, Rinpoche. Thank you, Jeff. Rinpoche stressed a lot about the importance of study to enhance wisdom, and talked about my understanding. What I heard was the 6 perfections couldn't be called or completed as 6 perfections without wisdom.
Correct.
So there's 16 emptinesses. How detailed should the practice of wisdom be combined if you're trying to even meditate on one massive topic like generosity? I don't even know which emptiness.
Meaning, okay, the Rinpoche, the lapjagu, then the tearing charan, the sherap sheda ke chempo ge chishesun, the lobjong sheda ke chempo, then kedi disegdu, the tomba ni judru yure, the ngama kon losun, tomba ni judru, the ewa mambo yure, then the kon disegdu, the lobjong, tambo nipa sumba jipa gari akshu gangen sene the tomani judru sheda kali kapuldu then a kon jimba the lobjung shegdu the jimba the tombani judru gari the jawa yure then gari pentogdu sanlo gari yure gangen sene the jimba dang tombani jawa yure yene tombani judru dang jimba sanlo dang the yi chugdu sen chugdu
다 짐바 산다나 데 야보로 데 짐바 짐비 롱쇼 네 짐비 데부들로 데 롱쇼 쳐와도 짐비 데 마르바
lesso
짐비 롱쇼스 짐바를 데 롱쇼 쳐와 용거래 천델 롱쇼 쳐와 용거래 저완 서로 모블레 네 롱쇼 쳐와 용거래
lesso then a jimba dang tomani jawa gare
제반 동반이서나 제반데 안에 여러 왔다
lesso
안에 내가 두바데 내가 마루버스나 내가 마루버와
lesso
네 되네 두바르마도 마두바라 마두요 마루 내가 마루버도
then a the toni judru the jawa gare
돈이 주로 다시 동반이 나 동반이 제반도 속은가로 what the judo no 가론지 되다
so first of all, generosity, when we're looking at the practice, is very important. From generosity comes the enjoyments. So when we look at wealth and enjoyments, we achieve them through this practice in this life and in future lives, many future lives to come. So generosity is important. But when we look at how emptiness is practiced with generosity, we would see that generosity itself is an object. It lacks true establishment. So we would see that the action of generosity, the person being generous, and the person you're being generous to, are all empty. So this act of generosity is empty. How it relates to the 16 emptinesses, these are just different ways of looking at emptiness in a more detailed fashion. But the basic understanding that those 16 emptinesses just prove is the point that generosity is not truly established because it dependently originates. So one sees the emptiness of the action, agent, and object in one's practice. Rinpoche said the 16 emptinesses are a topic for later study, but it's studying in a gradual fashion that is realistic. It speaks about that here too, in the text, about doing it in a realistic way. But that's Rinpoche said.
So you're saying that if you use that word facsimile for someone who hasn't realized emptiness, if you try to practice generosity and you try to remember to practice to think of the dependent origination, or the emptiness of the subject, the receiver, the object, the giver and the receiver and the object. If you try to do that, meditate on that emptiness of that the facsimile of the emptiness of it, that makes it solid, gives it worth.
You're looking at it correctly then? Is that what you mean? Like
Even if you try, does that make
that's
it?
how you're supposed to Rinpoche, the Jimba Dana, then Tanda the Doni Dopi Sherap Yomari. Yene nga Sanlo Dan nga Demba Madrupa, the Jimba Demba Madrupa, Kon Demba Madrupa, Sanlo Dana, the Nyune Dan Jar, then Yamlen Yapudu? Yeah, so that's so this is the best way to practice, is to even though you don't have the wisdom realizing emptiness yet, to analyze each thing you participate in, such as generosity, and look at it as its emptiness of the action, agent, and object. So yes. So the meaning in the root wisdom text is what you're thinking of. What you're saying, the way you're saying to practice is what Nagarjuna says to do. One more question, Coleman.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so just want to understand this better. That emptiness burns away the afflictions, because if you're meditating on emptiness constantly, you're not, engaging in the afflictions anymore.
No.
Okay, so it's emptiness is the antidote.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I want to know.
The garshene tomba ni the nyomo nepo.
Tomba ni nyomo nepo kanan rosana. Taba drama yaba shebi lo teka drinzing lo nenu.
Less so.
Shuna deba maruba shebi lo teka denzin nenu.
Less so. Denzin korlo sawa. Okay. Because it is a grasping at true establishment, that's the root of cyclic existence. That's the root of the afflictions. That grasping, it is the wisdom realizing its opposite, that is its antidote. So when you walk into a room that's dim and you think there's a snake and it's really a rope, the only thing that will stop that misconception and that fear is to realize, oh, it's a rope, it's not a snake. And then everything that came around you thinking it as a snake goes away. Likewise, when you grasp at true establishment, your actions, your reactions, your thought process is all tainted by that grasping. So your afflictions arise from it. Everything wrong arises from it. So when you serve an antidote, which is the exact opposite, the fact that things are not truly established, there's nothing to grasp at that has that true establishment, then it gets rid of everything that comes after the thought that things truly are established. And that thought of things being truly established is the root of cyclic existence. So it is the root of all the afflictions. So you remove that, then it removes the afflictions. It removes cyclic existence. So that's why you meditate upon it, so that you come to the verifiable proof that things aren't truly established in your mind from the stance of direct valid cognition. You keep thinking about it so you can eventually know it.
Right.
Because knowing it erases not knowing it.
Okay. And it just takes time, I'm assuming, to obviously purify all those previous wrong views by starting to accumulate the right view.
Since beginningless time, we've grasped at things as being truly established. We've had this misconception that we're trying to stop that's always been there.
So it'll take a while to kind of reverse
The Jewa Tuma Mepa nga Denzin yin, Den Sun San, the Leka Mambogu, Gangin Sena, the Jewa Tuma Mepa, the Denzin yin, right? Then Tomba Ni Tem Chik Gonja Digamare.
Tomba ni teji gona, shidane to maro da, tomba ni. So
you have to first hear the words of emptiness and understand what those words mean, and then analyze them over and over and over again, and then meditate on them to the point of a realization. And then Rinpoche said, one sitting on meditating on emptiness doesn't harm that grasping very much. You need to do it over and over again so you really get rid of it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Concluding model offering and dedication prayer. The fundamental ground is scented with incense and strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha land and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure realm. I dedicate whatever virtues I have collected for the benefit of the teachings and of all sentient beings, and in particular for the essential teachings of Venerable Losang Drapa to shine forever. I send forth this jeweled mandala to you, precious Guru. I dedicate all this virtue to emulate the knowledge of the hero Manjushri and likewise Samantabhadra as well, with whatever dedication is praised as supreme by all the conquerors who traverse the 3 times. I also dedicate all my roots of virtue for the sake of auspicious deeds. In that pure land surrounded by snowy mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness. All-powerful Avalokiteshvara, Tenzin Gyatso, may you stay until samsara's end. I pray for the long life of the precious Khensur Wandak, upholder of scriptural and realizational doctrines, spiritual friend who trained extensively in the 5 great philosophical texts with exceptional wisdom and perseverance. Geshe Rinpoche, Guchapi Denrana.
Ja,